What's up, YouTube? This is Realization here, and this is going to be episode 6 of season 3 of Sound Euphonium. So, last time on on Euphonium, the suggestion via Metrocracy, I hope I said that right. They're going to do these multiple auditions for each play. They're gonna do multiple. They're gonna do cause it continues the merit. Like it gives everyone a chance instead of just this one where it will dictate the ones who stay for the entirety. It keeps the motivation up. I do like it, but it can be tired. I can also see where it can fall. It can be an issue, like where it can get a little tiresome. Well, not a little tiresome, just trying to keep up that motivation. But if you're not built for it, then maybe you're not cut out for it. Just saying. But it also is a test. There's also the case with Mario, and I don't think I really touched upon it as much as I should. But considering we don't know a whole lot about at this point I'm more or less implying I'm not trying. I mean, a lot of people. I don't want to try to hear the piece about the novels this went this way and that. I want to see what the anime wants to tell me. I don't know, because maybe the novel didn't communicate as much as well as it should either. But who knows? I want to see how this plays out. If there is one thing I am very I do have to. This is the whole thing with Mushoku Tensei, which I will resume. Which after this, hopefully I'll resume reactions to. That it's a little too, things are a little hurrying up too much. As a result, some stuff gets cut. Some stuff maybe you want to see more of this and that. But I can get why they kind of want to wrap this up, because I'm not so sure if they want to stretch this out a little too long. But season 1 was I think struck the balance of it, and season 2 was a little bit hurried up. The thing with season 1 is because it's a little more lengthy, and it makes more sense because it's highlighting more of Kumiko's and most important sorts of development, especially early on. You have to get that, which is why I'm still really upset with what Chicano finale did, and it just shortened it. It felt like a wasted away, especially when it was that graduation year for the likes of Yuko, Natsuki, Nozomi, and Mizore. The past, they pretty much left Kumiko to take care and Reina to take care of things. Not just them, Hazuki and the other, new third years as well. There's a lot to think. I think Mayu's a second year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Mayu is already showing that she's not really agreeing to it. But considering that she does already have, this this passive already sort of confidence, maybe an arrogance of sorts with her your skills, but you do see that she is trying to make connections, but she's getting rejected, and Kumiko doesn't get the hint of that, which is a little troubling, because considering Kumiko is usually someone that can kind of tell what's going on, or at least the general gist of things, at least early on. Maybe it's because of how she changed, or maybe she hasn't thought about it as much. But who knows? But yeah, you can obviously see where the setup for a drama will come in, because Kumiko's in trouble of not making it through because she has to rival Mayu, and there's just if with the both paths, and Kane will not be there. It's a tough deal at this point. I really loved that scene with Kumiko and Reina. I don't. I don't want. I'm not gonna try to play devil's advocate, but I might as well. I don't care. I don't. I would say, the safest scenario for me was is to not have Kumiko go into any sort and to have any really show on screen like any sort of romantic relationship at this point. The one again, I keep saying this. The thing with Shuichi is already butchered by adaptation wise. So why even bother trying to go back to it anymore? He's always been better off. He's always had a better off impression as a character when he's just there supporting as a fellow classmate and as a vice president. She has to be there like that. Not into that's I appreciate that more than where the romantic side where it felt forced anime wise. I had to feel like, yeah, maybe in the novel it felt a little bit more believable. The thing with Kill Annie is like, as much as I like their production ethics and how they do things, in terms of how and how they direct things as well, in terms of how they section off, how they emphasize on certain parts of the source material, like how they pace things here and there, it gets dicey. It gets dicey. I understand why, because there's sometimes like you can only like it's you can only stress up so much. That's why they rarely ever do consecutive core projects. Like I remember they did. It's not like they can't. It's because like Hyoka's a thing. Clannad, both seasons of Clannad were a thing, but that's back then. We talking about now. It's like not impossible, and even those don't have as those aren't really sharpened in terms of the of the production compared to here. But maybe that's just my opinion on things. But that's there. I mean, Violet Evergarden cannot go consecutive cores without some sort of drop off in quality, even with how they handle things. At least unless they have like a lot more time to like another year or so, and even then, like, I'm sure many people wish Violet Evergarden was like, I'm sure wish it was 2 cores, but things will, it is what it is. I felt, but then again, like the novel, from what I've heard, funny enough, I haven't even touched it. I've barely even touched beyond a few first chapters. That the novel series was really short as well, so it doesn't help. But yeah, let's just see how the things play out. So let's get to episode 6 and then Jeffrey right here. All right. Sorry, I was wondering if I was trying to sneeze. Sorry. Oh, I'm just getting updates from God, I'm Mushoku Tensei is out right now. I'll try to get to that one later. Like I want to try to get enough stuff done on Monday, on this Sunday. Like in the best case, in an ideal scenario, I would be doing 3 reactions today, but I can't. Like I have to choose, but I'll try. I'll try to get 2 in at this time, as opposed to settling with 1. I will mention why I was only doing this one until now. When I get to the Mushoku video, like maybe sometime after this reaction. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Oh yeah, I I forgot this. Okay, I forgot there was a cameo. There was a cameo of the third years, or like the third years from the season 1, 2. I completely forgot their names. Like I knew them, but it's just I gotta look back because it's like you. Cause I almost never see them. Because like when they graduate, it's just like yeah, they visit every now and then. Hmm? What? You know what? She just like me for real. I'm just taking the pictures. I don't like being in the picture. Yeah, you have to do it where like it's normalized, as opposed to when you're trying to force it. You have to basically to get it to the point where you can do it at a you could just do it like on upon reflex, like it's just natural. Well, yeah, they're all kind of competing. She doesn't. The thing, like, she knows she's good, but she doesn't want to. She doesn't want her. She doesn't want her own talent to make others to to be the chagrin for others. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's not wrong. We're not trying to be enemies here, even though we technically are. Euphonium's not trying to villainize anyone. Just to let you know. Hmm. Yeah, you're tossing way too many flags there. I mean, there's freaking there, did I say Natsuki? God damn it! I fucking messed it. Yeah, Natsuki hasn't passed an audition even once yet. Hmm. It doesn't really matter which year you're in or not. So in the end, it comes down to talent. Oh, tell me about it. Oh yeah, that. Right. Well, I didn't expect her to show up here of all places. Like I know she lived near. I know she technically lives nearby, but still. I'm kind of surprised that she hasn't thought about that till now. What the fuck are those subs though? Me neither. Well, there's no next year for Kumiko though. Don't jinx it, please. Because I don't know how many exactly they need. Like it's usually like only a few. The one you heard the first time. If they are not picking, just like they're not gonna show it. Hey, okay, okay. Uh, so yes, she made it. Finally. Aw, it's not without some comp. It's not without some hearts broken, though. There's always yeah. There's always next. There's always next time. That's what I thought. We're just gonna bounce us off. That helps. She probably thought, oh, she deserved better. Yeah, but she wasn't the one who made the decision. But the teachers called it. They have to go with it. They have to trust him, and he has to. They have to trust him, and they have to trust. And he has to trust them, though. I almost mixed it up. I'm sorry. Oh, you're true. True. The many of the newbies are not familiar with how he handles things. It's just to hear us out. That'd be so cool to kind of just go to that school and just on a whim just hear someone playing, and not only it would sound good, you could tell how if their shit's good or bad. It's a little bit rubbed out. This framing though, because I think he did that so to motivate her to try harder. I meant for both sides too. It's not me. In the end, I'm just the one. I'm just the conductor. You guys have to. You. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop around here, right? And the next piece begin. Yep. You're gonna go all out with this next one. The nitpick is that I wish things didn't have to go so fast. But, again, I can understand why. They're gonna have to do multiple parts of it. And I don't think they're gonna be able to have enough episodes to accommodate for all of them. Which does suck, but I think they were in this conundrum where if they do 2 cores, it'll be too long. If you but with this single core, they have to compact a lot of things. Everything so far is great. Just the stuff they have to cut in order to make things fit is what does irk me. Again, I'm not saying all hope is lost. I mean, apparently the Blu-ray is going to include some extra scenes, and then there's the OVAs. They may have some extra stuff. I don't know what's that all about, but I have to think it's beneficial, and it's a must-watch. Sorry, I'm gonna check some. Okay. All right. So, it's okay. So I needed to see that one butchered subtitle. It was when Azusa and Funko were talking. If anything, hold on. Is it okay? She was really saying like, wouldn't it be Paige just completely quit music altogether after all that? Okay, that's what it meant. The fucking subtitles just be ass right now. I'm sorry about the noise in the back. But yeah, it kind of, there's a lot of things weighing on her mind. What she wants to do for her future, and the whole thing with the auditions, the perfection rules. Okay, so okay, just now, really now, just thinking about it, I'm okay with them trying to go through this audition as do the first audition as quickly as possible, because like the last time around, it was perfectly, it was like that was perfect because of the way, because they didn't have to follow this multiple auditions sort of format, which does suck at, because like their first year was like had been their best shot despite all what had happened, and they still did not get gold at the nationals. And the second year around, which was the infamous butchered one adaptation wise, they didn't even get to they didn't even make it to the nationals. They got a dud gold instead. And so there's a lot of things to be concerned for here. Like, I'm not trying. Mayu is. I can't hate her. She's someone. She feels like someone who's got lost. Like, she doesn't want her own abilities to end up making someone else upset because they can't make it to the audition because of her. That's what she's fearing. So, but here, thankfully, they needed Taki said they picked 3, and almost one was still left out. I used to think the requirement has to just be 2. I was wrong. I was wrong, actually, to be honest. I've always assumed that, but I don't know what Tug was thinking there. I'm pretty sure it's only for this audition, and I think for the next couple, it's not going to be so much that. And so, I predict Mayu's going to be there, Kumiko won't, and then the next time it will be the other way around. Or it could just be like, there could be a really nasty case where Mayu is selected specifically, exclusively for the next. Well, okay, they have to have more than one player. But yeah, so far, like, yeah, there isn't too much though. Well, there's still a lot of things to take care of, like, things to take away from this. Like, trusting is with what Taki like choosing is something we can trust. Because while the third U's do trust him because they've been familiar with him, the newbies don't really revere or know him as much to really have that sense of trusting what he's doing. And I can understand, and this is understandable because the first time he was around back in season 1, not everyone had a really positive impression of him, to say the least. Except for Reina, of course, because she was always that familiar. And it turned out all right. And the fact that he is not trying to, like, he pushes them, he's pretty snappy with things, but in the end, he's still letting the students, have to do the work on their own. He's not the one that's trying to say, oh, do this, do that. He's pretty much letting them figure it out for the most part, and just giving advice whenever he wants to, whenever he feels like it. Actually, I'm not so sure advice, just like a helpful answer. If I got that interpretation wrong, I do apologize. But yeah, it passed by pretty darn fast. again, like I do worry for Mayu because she wants to. It was noticeable, and when she was looking through the film during the part when they were talking about the films, she's not even in the films themselves. She prefers to be the ones catching the moments of people being in the group, not her being with them necessarily. Now I get why, like, because she's just a camera, but you can just switch off with someone, right? Or ask someone like, hey, take this picture or whatnot. But no, it's not that. And I have to think it's a P. And hopefully they'll do her enough justice on that regard, because she feels like she's someone who is labeled an antagonist more so because of how she is introduced as this anomaly. Like, she's freaking good, but at the same time she doesn't want to go against. She's not totally in agreement with some of the things in the club. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to do something that will make her not be able to fit in with the group. Because she's, even with all this, she's still very isolated. Of course, you can literally just see when she was trying to approach Kumiko. Like, this is like the first time around. The previous time around, she wasn't. The previous time around, it was the parent, and the second time here around, like, she tried, but. And then Kumiko also brought up a thing, like, she's scared of someone knowing more about me when I don't know as much about them. But yeah, the only thing that does irk me, but again, I can understand why, is that they are blowing by this a lot faster. But again, like, it's because they are doing multiple auditions as opposed to just one audition in the previous times. So I'm not. So it's not like I totally hate this decision to do that. It's just I do feel like some parts were more. They emphasized more parts better. Someone said that they could have at least shown a montage. A montage of it, and when they mean montage, they mean like you just put a bunch of still frames on there and just show what happened there. I mean, the thing is, that could be a perfectly fine suggestion, but for something like Kyoto Animation, that's not something they really want. They really particularly like doing, just showing montages. Because that's not what they are. When they want to go to a performance, they will do their best to have it animated. But it's because of that they can't. Some performances still inevitably just skip altogether, which sucks, honestly. But you don't live in a perfect world, of course. But then again, like, I'm not too mad at most of these skips. It still irks me though when it still does irk me when they cut out the final performance, because you think you'd at least want to see how they actually did. In the finale of season 2, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, Hazuki passed. Finally, how is it the fact that this is the first time passing? It just feels like. Oh, it feels like that one guy. I remember back in high school, like, he keeps getting help. Like, I remember, like, I've been told, and I wasn't familiar with him until like my sophomore year. Forgot what his name is. I remember, like, people were saying he got held back a few times from graduation, and when graduation came, it was not my graduation year, and people were literally saying that, oh shit, bro, he actually made it. It's that sort of thing that popped up into my mind when I heard Husky, showed up, actually made it through the audition for once. Because I'm not saying like, oh, she's slacking or anything. Just like she doesn't just. It's just that like she's lucky, just doesn't have the kind of talent or prowess like many of the other players, but she still likes what she's doing right now. Although I do not know if that will necessitate her to my bad, for her to pursue a musical career. No, that's not her. But that's something I'm not too concerned about for her at the moment. It's Kumiko, because hers is kind of mixed, because she's clearly adept in music, and nobody he can picture her going with having a future without it. The thing is, what does she want to do with it? Does she want to teach? Does she want to just go to music school? Is she gonna be ultra special like Reina? Who knows? Who knows? But there's a lot of things weighing on her mind as this third year moves forward. Her last year moves forward. I do hope they can actually get gold in nationals, because if it turns out that she will never, it'll be like that she never gets to, that they never get gold in nationals this time after all they did, I'd be pretty upset. No, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm pretty sure, like, if any of the light novel readers, know that they supposedly didn't, they see this, probably giggling right now. But things can change. Maybe. I mean, it's not like it's a first for Joanne. Like, I'm pretty sure this is redundant to say, but anything can happen, and we can trust that they'll tell an effective story out of it. I'm not saying it's perfect, but so far so good. They're gonna say that. I think the next episodes they're gonna really pop off on that performance. Hopefully. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Smash that like button, let me know in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter, support the YouTube channel, join the Discord server, share the video around, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this week on Hibike Euphonium. Euphonium signing off. See you next time. Take care, stay safe, y'all, and have a great day. Peace.